Did you know that the average person eats over 35,000 cookies in their lifetime? We're diving deep into the food facts they don't teach you in school. Get ready to be amazed because these food facts will completely change the way you think about what you eat. Today we're serving up 10 mind-blowing food facts that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about certain foods. We're talking shocking truths, busted myths, and culinary curveballs that'll send your taste buds into a frenzy. Let us talk about honey. Did you know that wasps were making honey long before bees? Wasps were making honey long before bees. They were the original honey makers, but wasp honey is different. It's thicker, darker, and not as delicious. Bees understand flavor, that's why we have more of bee honey, but admire the audacity of wasps. Give them a nod of respect. Next, red velvet cake, eh? Looks fancy, doesn't it? All elegant and romantic with its crimson color. You think it's some fancy recipe passed down through generations of Southern belles? Well, I've got news for you, you've been duped. Red velvet cake is nothing but a cheap illusion, a culinary con job. That vibrant red color, it's not from some exotic berry or ancient spice. It's from a chemical reaction, plain and simple. Back in the day, cocoa powder wasn't as refined as it is now. It used to react with buttermilk, creating a reddish hue. And guess what? Those crafty bakers, instead of hiding this little accident, they embraced it. They played it up, added a dash of red food coloring, and bam, red velvet cake was born. Next, you think paying a $5 for a bagel with a schmear is outrageous? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because some numpty out there is charging $1,000 for a single bagel. You heard me right, $1,000 for a bit of bread with a hole in it. What's in it, you ask? Well, apparently it's got white truffle cream cheese, goji berry-infused Riesling jelly, and gold leaf. Gold leaf! Listen, I've eaten in some fancy places in my time, but this is just ridiculous. It's like they took everything that screams pretentious and crammed it into a bagel. I'd rather spend £1,000 on a plane ticket to Italy and eat a real, honest-to-goodness Italian meal. Next, truffles, those lumpy, pungent fungi, are like the culinary equivalent of gold dust. People go crazy for them, paying exorbitant prices for a whiff of their earthy aroma. But what is it about these subterranean delicacies that make them so sought after? Well, for starters, they're bloody hard to find. Truffles grow underground, near the roots of certain trees, and you need a trained pig or dog to sniff them out. It's like a culinary treasure hunt, and that rarity adds to their allure. But here's the kicker. The taste of truffles isn't for everyone. It's intense, earthy, musky, some might even say offensive. It's a flavor that you acquire, a taste of luxury that you learn to appreciate. Next, let us talk about the world's most expensive spice. Saffron, that delicate crimson spice, is more expensive than gold, gram for gram. That's right, you heard me correctly. This spice is more valuable than the precious metal we use to make jewelry and adorn our teeth. So what makes saffron so bloody expensive? Well, it's all down to the labor-intensive harvesting process. Saffron threads are actually the stigmas of the crocus flower, and each flower only produces a tiny amount. Think about it. You need to handpick thousands of these delicate threads just to get a few grams of usable spice. It's a painstaking process that requires a lot of time, effort, and precision. No wonder it costs a king's ransom, but let me tell you, the flavor of saffron is worth its weight in gold. Next, pineapple on pizza. It's a culinary abomination that should be banned by the Geneva Convention. Who in their right mind would sully a perfectly good pizza with chunks of sweet, tangy pineapple? Pizza is a sacred food, a symphony of flavors and textures. You've got the crispy crust, the tangy tomato sauce, the gooey cheese, and the savory toppings. Each element plays its part in creating a harmonious balance. But pineapple throws the whole bloody orchestra out of tune. Its sweetness clashes with the savory flavors. Its texture is all wrong, and don't even get me started on the soggy mess it makes of the crust. Next, you know those 4 basic tastes we all learned about in school? Sweet, sour, salty, and bitter? Well, there's a 5th taste, umami. Umami is the taste of deliciousness, making food richer and more satisfying. It's why a steak, tomato, or Parmesan cheese can send your taste buds into overdrive. Discovered by a Japanese scientist in the early 1900s, it's due to an amino acid called glutamate. Next, those vibrant colors in your candies, cereals, and sodas might look appealing, but they're actually derived from some pretty unappetizing sources. For example, that bright red dye in your strawberry ice cream, it might be made from crushed up beetles. And that yellow in your lemonade, it could be derived from coal tar. Appetizing, isn't it? Now, I'm not saying that all artificial food coloring is bad, but it's worth knowing what you're putting into your body. These dyes have been linked to everything from hyperactivity in children to allergic reactions. Next, chocolate. That velvety smooth, melt-in-your-mouth indulgence has a history that dates back thousands of years. Long before it was turned into candy bars and desserts, chocolate was consumed as a bitter beverage by the ancient Mayans and Aztecs. That's right, forget your fancy chocolate shops and artisanal chocolatiers. Chocolate was originally a bitter drink, often flavored with spices and chilies. It was considered a sacred drink, used in religious ceremonies and as a symbol of power and wealth. Next, fugu is a Japanese delicacy made from pufferfish, containing a deadly toxin called tetrodotoxin. It's 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide, and there's no known antidote. The thrill, the tingling sensation, the slight numbness, only highly trained chefs can prepare it. So there you have it, 10 mind-blowing food facts that will have you looking at your plate in a whole new light. Remember, food is more than just sustenance. It's a fascinating tapestry of history, science, and culture. So the next time you sit down to a meal, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey that your food has taken to get to your plate. And don't forget to share your favorite food fact in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching.